Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger, helping you whip your business into shape. Today, I have with me Jason Wendroff-Rawnicki. Now, Jason and I were introduced by our mutual friend, Steven Stott. So I was reading through his intro and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I totally forgot we were introduced through Steven. And I'm reading in his intro and I was like, he should know Steven. And of course, guess what? He already knows Steven. So anyway, I love that. So let me tell you the badass crew all about Jason. He is a somatic grief therapist, a keynote speaker, best-selling author, certified yoga educator, and has a master's in psychology. And here's why part of why I'm so excited about bringing him on the show, an essential oil leader. Yes. After losing his sister Lauren in a car accident in 1998, he became passionate about empowering individuals with simple and effective tools to naturally manage their mental, emotional, and physical health. When we change our physical state, we have the energy to do the mental and emotional work needed to bring hope back into our lives. In 2019, he started SIBS Online, a peer support group for bereaved siblings that meets every week. And we'll put the link to that in the chat. So, Jason, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I've been so excited. I know we had this scheduled out a long time ago and we've gone through a lot of iterations. So I'm so finally glad we're able to meet face to face.
Oh, me too. And let's be honest, everything happens in the right time and the right reason for the right season, right? It wasn't meant to happen till right now. And I really am super interested in, so you obviously you had this powerful thing happen in your life.
Yes.
Almost 30 years ago. And that obviously impacted what you're doing now. So what was that journey like going from having that happen to where you are now?
Yeah. So I'll try to condense 30 years into less, but this is like my hero's journey, right? Like something in the hero's journey, something happens. It's like that call to adventure. And then the hero always fights against it or repels it. And so that actually happened to me. When my sister died, I did not want to be known as the guy with the dead sister. Like I was starting to teach yoga at that point, and everyone's like, well, why don't you do like grief yoga? Why don't you teach yoga for grief? And I didn't want to be known as that guy because I didn't really think I wanted to be in the grief space at all. So for many, many years, I pushed that part of myself down. I didn't want to talk about it like in public on podcasts and very publicly, mostly also because the bereaved sibling experience is a form of grief that's very invalidated by our society. Most of the time, like when it first happened to me, I got a lot of messages like, I had to be strong for my parents. And, you got to really buck up because your parents need you more now than ever. And it's like, how can I be strong for them? But really inside, I'm breaking down. I'm just a mess. And I didn't know what to do. There were no peer support groups at the time. There was no bereaved sibling literature. There wasn't anything except for maybe going to a religious institution, and even I was studying therapy at the time. And I realized that even talk therapy alone wasn't going to serve me in the way that I needed it to. And that's really what brought me into yoga and meditation and mindfulness and really starting to take care of my body, changing some lifestyle patterns, eating healthier, getting the right movement, getting into essential oils because that can add to the emotional and the mental clarity that I needed at that time. So I made all of these changes, and that's what led me to the work to realize that the body-centered stuff is really what worked for me. Getting into my physical asana, going out exercising, getting into nature, changing those habits really served me in a huge way, taking care of my body first. And then I was able to do, okay, right, now I better start looking at the emotions and the thoughts that are coming up. And so that's what led me to create my own system of what worked for me, so then I can help other people with that system in place.
I love that. And, obviously I've already brought this up and you just brought it up too, incorporating the essential oils as part of this process. So how did you get introduced to the world of essential oils, and what was that journey like?
Okay, so the introduction was kind of just tactical. My wife and I had a brick and mortar yoga studio, and one of the teachers that we had hired brought essential oils into the studio space. And so we wanted to know more about them. Now, at that point, I was starting to, we were making other lifestyle shifts. And the thought that got me was that everyone used to tell me, oh, as you get older, you're going to get sicker. As you get older, you're going to have all of these ailments. And that's just the way it is. They took it as law. And I said, well, something doesn't sound right to me about that. And if you repeat the behaviors of everybody else, you're going to get the same results that everybody else gets, right? So I'm like, there's got to be something different. There's got to be a different way for me to live my life, so that this way as I get older, I get healthier, I get more vibrant, I have more energy. And at that point, right, like we were talking about how synchronicity happens and the right timing happens. That's the exact moment when essential oils came into my life, and the right supplementation and the right things to keep my body healthy, so that this way, as I get older, I'm not getting sicker. I'm just getting stronger. I'm getting leaner. I'm getting more vibrant as I age. So that whole mindset, it's all about your mindset. And I needed to shift that.
That's so fantastic. And I also, you don't know this about me because I haven't shared it yet, but some of my audience probably knows this. My background is also in psychology. I have a bachelor's in psychology, so I didn't go those extra 2-3 years like you did. But one thing I do remember from my psychology days and knowing about the brain and the nervous system is one of the most powerful senses we have is the sense of smell.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
It is something that it can, as we all know, we've had that experience before where we've been walking somewhere and we catch a whiff of something, and all of a sudden in our brain we're transported back to, what comes to mind for me is I was walking through the St. Louis Zoo and I caught a whiff of a particular flower, and all of a sudden I was back on my grandparents' driveway in Cape Cod. Right? So the power that smell has. And not that that's all that there is to essential oils, but that's such a piece that I think most people don't understand the power of.
Yeah. Well, and let's take it into business context. A lot of people use sense of smell to encourage even sales, because think about the real estate agent that bakes cookies, right? Why? They don't bake cookies to bake cookies. They bake cookies so that you come into the house and it smells like grandma's house, and then you have this sense of home. A lot of hotels are coming out with unique aromas that they're pumping into the rooms so that they associate that aroma with that certain hotel brand. So there are actual businesses that are using sense of smell and recognizing how powerful it is to boost their brand awareness as well. So there's an amazing opportunity there to be able to use essential oils to create your own special brand, so that you have it diffusing in the office, so that people connect your brand with that smell.
Okay. That is so freaking brilliant. And what's interesting is I've been doing something like that just because I know that when I go to my networking events, I always wear the same perfume.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not that for me, I just associate, okay, it's networking day, so I'm going to put on this perfume instead of this perfume. If I'm going out with my fiance, it's this perfume instead of that perfume. You know what I mean? I'm making those associations. And now that I'm thinking about it from your perspective, now all of a sudden when people smell that smell, they're going to know it's me.
Right. It's a branded
for good
smell.
or bad.
Right. But it's a branded smell. And then if they're out in the world, and somewhat they go through those, I don't know, department store, and they smell that
Yeah.
perfume that you're using, they're going to think of you. They're going to think of you
Oh,
immediately, even if you're not in
yes.
there, right? So it is a powerful tool, and we can definitely use it within our businesses as well.
Ah, I love that. So now how do you incorporate then? Because obviously there's more than just this sense of smell with essential oils. How do
Yeah.
you incorporate it with what you're doing through yoga, through grief therapy, through what you're doing? How have you built this all together as a business model?
Right. So I've, over the course of the last couple of years, I've integrated the essential oils with my grief work. It wasn't always that way though. I was trying to do the like, oh, let's teach just essential oil classes, and just the kind of way that many direct sales companies like educate their people to
Right.
do their stuff.
Yeah.
But I was at a convention, and I was listening to a nurse talk about how she has such a passion for nursing and for the essential oils, and how she integrated it into her bigger mission. And I was like, I need that. Like, I need that vision, mission, and purpose. Like, so that this way it's not just essential oils and yoga and, energy work, but it's integrated in a way that really feels organic, so that this way it's not confusing. And so there are many ways in which I use it. One of my favorites is doTERRA has an amazing foundational wellness kit, which is vitamins, minerals, and omegas. The omegas, I would have to say, when it comes to grief, is probably one of the most important supplements that you can take, because of the effect that it has on the brain, and how it helps to regulate your emotions. A lot of times we get emotional not because, well, because we're emotional, yes, but because our brain could be starving of those vital nutrients to keep it manageable. So sometimes when we're in grief and we get overwhelmed, it's because our brain is not functioning at its optimal levels, because it doesn't have the raw materials it needs. So it'd be
Mhm.
like trying to drive a car without having gas in it. And we need to make sure that foundational wellness, to me, is the most critical part, because, so many products out there, people are taking a lot of kind of vitamins, but they're not effective, and they're not feeling the difference. They're not feeling more energy, or feeling more vibrant, or, feeling that effect on the brain. And so really having those good quality vitamins, minerals, and omegas specifically, if those are the only three that you can do, that is absolutely imperative, in my opinion, when it comes to not just grief, but just for our body to be functioning properly.
That makes so much sense. And I could tell as you were talking, there were people who were having their own aha moments, right? Because they're
Yeah.
like, oh, because if anybody has ever wondered to themselves, like, why is it that some people seemingly bounce back from grief faster than others? Well,
Yeah.
maybe they just have different tools,
Yeah.
right? Something as simple as nutrition,
Yeah. And
right?
to be honest, that's a very, like, so many people are scared to deal with the grief itself. So
Mm.
let's start with something that's really not threatening. And,
Yeah.
our diets are, it's just it's like our habit of eating. And if we can make small little 1% changes in that, doesn't need to even be like, over the years, I've made these 1% changes. But if I look back now over 30 years of, my natural, like, it's very different now than it was before. But I just made one change at a time, but just over a long period of time. So that this way the change is sustainable. It's not overwhelming. It's not like, oh, I have to throw out everything in my cabinet and change no, just one thing. Pick one thing, like pick drinking 2 ounces more water a day, right? Pick one small action, but that you can do consistently.
There you go, guys, in case you missed it.
Mic
Right,
drop.
because that exactly, mic drop, because especially since that particular nugget is applicable not just in the personal life,
Yeah.
but also for their business, right? Because the
Yeah.
people who are listening to this are people who are working on trying to like those of us in direct sales and network marketing are like other solo entrepreneurs who have a more quote unquote traditional business, brick and mortar
Yeah.
style business, whatever, in that we're wearing all the hats.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
We are the chief marketing officer and the person who's doing the marketing. We
Yeah.
are the chief financial officer and the person who's inputting things into QuickBooks. We are the like add those. I'm going to give tribute to my friend Mark, 57 hats. Okay. We're
Yep.
all wearing those hats, right? But if we could take one of those things and get better at one of those things at a time,
Yeah. Yep.
that can just so easily, that it's the Darren Hardy compounding effect, right?
Right.
Make that difference, that 1% difference every day. That one, like,
Yeah.
ah,
Like how, like, and if you think 1% over a week is 7%, over a month, it's 30%, 31%, right? Over 3 months, you're like 90% better,
right.
So
And that makes me think of, oh, what study was it, or a statistic maybe that came out a couple of years ago, or maybe it might have been during COVID, because they were like, what else are you guys doing? So pick up a skill, right? But it was something simple, like if you do 18 minutes a day
yep.
of one particular thing, right? 18 minutes of knitting, 18 minutes of knitting, 18 minutes of knitting. By the end of the year, you have more experience knitting than most other people.
Yep. I think it's 100. I think so. I know which one you're referring to. I think it's 100 hours or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
So if you probably, I won't be able to do the math that quickly of 18 times 365, but I
Right. But
think it's
18
100
minutes a
hours.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you
18
get
minutes a
proficient in
day.
something. Yep.
Do that with your business. Do that with
Yep.
your health, right? Like pick
Yep.
one thing.
Well, and I think what happens is we have all the things that are on our head to do, right? And complexity is like the thief of execution. So we make it so complex that we just can't execute it. And it's impossible because you don't know, like, it just gets overwhelming. And that's where the one thing, like, call one person up, right? Connect with one person, do one social media post, right? One a day or something like, or whatever your commitment is, just make that commitment, but make sure that you do it every day. Like, that's the consistency is the hard part of it, right?
Okay, that right there, that's the quote for the episode. That's what's going out in front of everybody. Not the whole big thing, but this is simple, right?
Yeah.
Guys, complexity is the thief of execution.
Yeah.
Quote Jason Wendroff-Rawnicki, okay?
Yeah.
And I see it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. As somebody who coaches in the direct sales industry, when I'm working with my clients and they're trying to do da 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 da, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. You got to call this. You got to teach a class. You got to, sign them up. You have to enroll them. You have to get them on the rewards program. You have to this and that. Yeah. Just time out.
Yeah.
Time out.
Sales,
Yep.
team growth,
Yep.
leadership, right?
Well, I would even go create your relationships, please.
Yes.
Please, everyone in the direct sales space, please create relationships first.
Mm-hmm.
Please, because I see so many direct sales people just go for the sale without trying to create a relationship. Care about, champion your people, create that relationship. That's how you're going to sell. That's how you're going to be successful, because they're going to start to like you, and then they'll start to trust you, and then they'll know you.
So good. Okay, guys, if you haven't already done so, favorite this episode. Download it to your phone. Make sure you can come back and listen to this, because I'm telling you right now, there's already so many good nuggets in here that you're going to want to listen to this 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 times. Okay. Because you'll come back and you'll be like, I don't remember hearing that last time. Right. Because your brain was still focused on the knowledge bomb that got dropped 2 minutes before. So, Jason, with all of this, we know, for those of us, and I can't imagine that there's anybody who's listening to this right now that hasn't experienced grief.
Yeah, no,
in some way, shape,
like,
right?
Whether it's a loss of a job, a loss, like, the grief is not only death related, which is, it's interesting because before I got into this space, we don't have the right language for grief. Let's put it that way, right? Like, the loss of a job is very different than the loss of a sibling, but the grief is somewhat similar, but there's no word to really punch the difference. Like, so it all gets sort of lumped under grief. And I'm beginning to soften around, okay, it's not just death, but it could be a divorce. It could be, in the book, I'm in this book called Faces of Grief, and there's 27 stories of grief. and there's actually a family that son got incarcerated, and so they're like actually dealing with grief. There's a lot of ambiguous grief, a lot of, other, pet loss and other styles of grief that people are going through. So we're all
Right.
probably, most of us are going through it. And if you're not now, there's going to be some point which you are.
Yeah, every human deals with this, right? And I love that you're addressing the different types of grief, because one of the things that has happened in our industry, unfortunately, quite a bit in the past couple of years, has been companies that are either A, changing their compensation plan,
Oh,
or
yes.
B, companies that are closing altogether, right? So a
Yes.
few months before us recording this episode, there was one company in particular that on a Friday, on payday, announced, by the way, we're done. We're closing our doors, and no, nobody's getting paid, right?
Wow.
There's grief around that, right?
Yeah.
That's, people who were in that business, that industry,
Yep.
that company, they had a dream,
Yes. Yep.
and the dream included that company and that business and the people that they're working with.
Yep.
And now it's not going to be the same.
Correct. And identities change, identities shift, right? Like you said, I'm a gold leader, I'm a diamond leader, and now you're not because the company shut down. Like, and if you've identified yourself, if that's part of your like identity, you're like, shit, I don't like, who am I now? Like,
Right.
I used to go around telling, I'm a diamond leader with this company. I'm a right, and then, are you even a leader now? Right, like those kind of questions. Obviously, you are. So just you are a
Yeah.
leader, but and you can take it to a different company. But there's that question though, that questioning that happens. Like, who am I now? And do I
Yeah.
have a future? Like, what is my future going to look like? Do I have a vision for that future? Do I have that compelling future that's going to get me out of this tentative situation that I'm in right now?
Right, exactly. And that's one of the things I tried to point out to people, because, unfortunately, other people in other companies who are in the industry were immediately going, "Oh, hey, well, come to my company."
Y-
Dude,
Yeah.
their dream hasn't even been dead an hour.
Oh, it's
You know what I
vultures.
mean?
Vultures.
And so trying to help people understand, and hopefully this can help, yes, there is a conscious knowing that, yes, their dream just died.
Yes.
But it's the, how do we help them really understand, like, no, seriously, we know that you're not supposed to do this, and yet you did it anyway.
Well,
Or,
and that, yeah, and that's where creating those relationships are really important, right? Like that, because if you created that relation, even if they didn't join your company at that time that you were prospecting them, and you still have a relationship with them,
yeah,
that's what's good. Like, and you kind of reach out and say, dude, like, I really am feeling for you. I really feel bad that your company, like, how can I be there to support you?
right,
Right? Like, this is a human connection, right?
right,
And you're not you're not dropping down on them like a vulture and picking at the bones. It's creating those relationships. And that is what is and I think sometimes that's what gives like direct sales kind of a bad name, is because, we don't think about creating, or people bypass that.
right. They try to hop into it, yet they take the terminology direct sales much too literally. Like,
Right,
oh,
right,
I'm going to
correct.
directly sell to you, right?
Yeah,
And I'm like, okay, guys,
yeah.
I know. Some companies are very adamant that they are direct sales,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
We are direct sales. We are not network marketing. We are not MLM. We are direct sales. Okay. Yes. And
Yeah.
I come from a world of yes and
Improv theater.
verbiage. Yes. Verbiage matters.
Yes.
Right. And so it impacts how people think of you. So that direct sales piece, well, yes, it is a particular model, understanding the benefit of saying, okay, network marketing,
Yep.
your job is literally listed out for you. 50% of your job is to build your network
Yep.
through relationships,
Yep.
right?
That
The other
network.
50% is the marketing piece,
Yeah.
right? So when you can incorporate all of the benefits from all three of those models, the direct sales, the network marketing, the multi-level marketing, because let's face it, if you get paid on multiple levels, you're technically in a multi-level marketing company,
Correct.
just by the definition, multi-level. Okay.
Yeah.
But many companies are like, we're not MLM. Okay, right. But that relationship piece is the through line for all of those.
Yep. All right. I'm going to drop another little piece of, I'm going to drop another bomb. Yeah, you can't be everything to everybody, but you do have to be one thing to one group of people. So what is the solution? What is the problem that your people are facing? And what is the solution that you offer?
Okay, that message was for me. Thank you, universe. I get it. I get it. I get it. Right?
Yeah. Right. Like we say, oh my God, my products are amazing. They can help everybody and they can help with their health and their wellness and their recovery and digestive issues and mental issues and emotional. And it's okay, great. That's fine. Terrific. That's like so much.
Mm-hmm.
But who are you dealing with? Who's your person? Or who are you really? Who are you? Right? What is your story? Where did you come from? And what was the thing that you overcame? And what was your solution? And that's who you help. And that's how you help others.
That is so good. Like I said, right before I hit record, this is going to be so juicy and magical. I could feel it. And that right there.
I wish someone told me, because I was like, no, I'm not going to be the grief guy. Well, guess what? I'm in the grief space. Like,
yeah.
Because that's the challenge that I overcame. Like, I had to figure out how to deal with it. And then I had to, once I figured it out for me, then I sort of reverse engineered, okay, this is what helped. These are the great tools that I have, and then I'm always continuing to learn more, right? And so these are the things that are worked and are working for me now. And now how do I help other people do that? And it involves essential oils, diet, lifestyle, thinking, feeling, all the things, but it's all under the one, I'm helping grievers find hope.
And on that note, because all of us have experienced grief or loss in some way, shape, or form, right? Yep. It may not have been a loss of a human or a loss of a pet. It may have been a divorce. It may have been a loss of a job. It may have been something else, right? Some other nebulous thing that I can't think of off the top of my head. But you have a guided meditation available for people who are ready to work through their grief and loss. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so it's not just a guided, you could use it as a guided meditation, or you can use it as a letter writing exercise. You can use it either way, because I give you prompts. And so you can pull the prompts. If you're not like, oh, I can't meditate, or have some trepidations against that, I mean, you can totally try. I walk you through it, but you can also use it as a letter writing journaling exercise. But it's in fact one of the things that I used to do. Like, as I told you, I reverse engineered it. It's one of the things that kept me connected with my sister. Right after I lost her, I felt so lost without her in the beginning that I still needed to have communication with her. So it's almost the exact same thing that I did for me. Like, I would sit and I would meditate and I would literally communicate with her and imagine her answering back, because the power of our imagination is incredible. And so when we're imagining that conversation, doesn't matter that it's not actually happening. Our brain registers as a legit conversation. And so we feel the same way we would as if we were talking to them in person. So this walks you through with a couple of little prompts to help you kind of connect with that person that you lost, especially it's mostly around the death-related grief.
Right.
But you can do it with a job as well, or you can do it with, an ex-spouse. It doesn't have to be, somebody that actually passed. You can adapt it to your situation.
Right. And I could even see this being beneficial for somebody who's grieving a loss of a vision, loss of
a vision, or
a
loss
dream.
of a direct sales company, or a loss of a dream. Right?
And all kinds of options. All right. So, of course, my badass crew, they already know that the link for this guided meditation is in the show notes. But just in case this is somebody's first time ever listening to the show or watching here on YouTube, what you're going to do is you are going to scroll under the video, or grab your phone, as long as you're not driving, scroll under Jason's picture, and there you will see big, bold link to the guided meditation for grief and loss. So you can go check that out. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. If you go watch this and participate in this guided meditation for grief and loss, reach out to Jason express gratitude, and let him know how it helped you. Because as we all know, gratitude is of the highest vibration frequency that is out there. Put more of that out in the world and more of it will come back to you. And let Jason know how his guided meditation helped you. Because that is how we give back to somebody who has done something for us, is let them know, because it is incredibly powerful for us as creators to know how we're helping the world. So Jason, thank you so much.
For both of us, that's what we do it for, that, right? Like, we serve, we're servants of you. So yeah.
I absolutely agree. That's why I do this podcast. That's why the podcast is free.
Yeah.
Right. This is my gift to the industry to say, hey, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to connect, if you're willing to implement, this podcast will change your life, and it's free. It literally costs people nothing. And so
that's also why I do my peer support group for bereaved siblings. That will always be free, because that is how, like, people say, are you going to like give that up? I'm like, no, because, you know, finances should not affect people's ability to learn and grow. And so that is my gift to my community as well. So I'm always going to do some free stuff, because it's in my nature to just serve.
I love that. Oh my gosh, Jason, this has been fantastic. And you and I are also going to head into the Badass Direct Sales Moms and Dads group. And we're going to do a special private training on a wonderful tool that you have used with your team members in doTERRA to help them build and grow. And so this is a totally free Facebook group, y'all. So if you're on Facebook, go find Badass Direct Sales Moms and Dads, and you'll see the video from Jason in there. So Jason, again, thank you for being here. And this conversation will continue.
Yes, absolutely. It was such a pleasure.
Oh, fantastic. And of course, Badass Crew, you know how this goes. Stay tuned, because there's another badass episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast, so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.